Hey everybody, this is Grimcat and welcome back to more Caves of Cud. This time we're playing the Dromad edition, which is a Steam version. So, I haven't recorded anything in a couple days. I've been sick. So I don't know how long I'll be doing this tonight. I got water next to me, which is something I don't normally do. Normally I have other beverages, but this time it's just water to help keep my throat moist. So what we're going to be doing during this run is a very specific character. I already know exactly what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to do this character a couple times until I feel as if we get a solid start on it, so we can really see what this particular character has to offer. And I think that's what we're going to be doing with these types of games for a while. I'm going to try to talk a little bit more about what I'm doing as well, so you get a better idea. So as we get into our character creation, we're going to dump all of our points into willpower, ego, then toughness. Now, what ego does, well, it does a couple things. Number one, ego is going to be your trading ability. So that means you're going to be buying and selling things for great prices. And it also determines the strength of any mental mutations you get. You know, I will get +4 bonuses to all of my mental things. So it'll act up to 4 levels higher. Now, not quite. Now, that's the way it used to in the older versions. In this version, it doesn't automatically bump it up 4 levels, because apparently that would be overpowered. What it does is basically it upgrades it to whatever level it could be, up to 4 for free. And once we get into it, you'll see a little bit better. And then willpower, which is how often we can use our mental mutations, and as well as how quickly we regenerate to an extent, and our ability to resist mental attacks. In toughness, I found we just have to throw these extra points in there, or else we're just way too weak. We're a pretty weak character as it is. We don't really stand toe to toe with much. But let's go ahead and select our mental mutations. So we're going to take one physical mutation. We're going to take two-headed. And what that does, in the starting point, mental actions cost 20% less energy, and there's a small chance each round to shake off a negative mental status effect. Okay. We're going to go ahead, well, let's go ahead and buy our minus. We're going to go with Blinking Tick. I found that Blinking Tick is the best, the least harmful. It might not be. Amnesia is probably way. No. We're gonna go with Blinking Tick. We're gonna be doing auto explore, and I just don't want to get into forgetting everything every 20 rounds. We're gonna take Temporal Fugue, which is something that we took last time. It creates different copies of ourselves. We're going to take Sunder Mind, which is like a psychic blast. It's a mental attack versus creatures with a mind, so it does not affect plants, it does not affect robots or anything like that. It's got a cooldown of 30 rounds normally, and it deals 2d4 damage at level 1. That goes up pretty high, pretty quickly. And for our last 4 points, we're going to take Light Manipulation, which does a bunch of things. At level 1, we produce ambient light within a radius of 4. So we see things for 4 squares without having to use a torch or anything like that. We can focus the light into a laser beam. Okay, I was reading ahead to see if it said anything about it. We have several charges of this ability. At first it is up to 4. Hopefully you can see my mouse. Every time we focus our light into our laser beam, it reduces those charges by 1. So it starts out at 4, giving us 4 tiles of light. We use it, it goes down to 3. We use it again, goes down to 2 charges of light. And then in time, the charges build back up to whatever. Starts off doing damage as a 1d3 with a penetration of 4. And that's okay. It says the light radius increases by 1 every 15 rounds, which means the charges increase by 1. And it also gives us a 13 chance to reflect light base damage. I believe lasers are light-based damage. I haven't come across much other things, but that certainly does not mean they don't exist. So that's what we're taking, and we're going on. Now, as for our class, excuse me about that. I'm going to have a couple coughs in there. There's a couple ways we can go with it. We can go with something that increases our ego. I don't like the Apostle, as a matter of fact, but that is one that increases our ego. You can kind of go for one that increases the willpower too. It's not my favorite, even though I do like the skills. Meditate lets you regenerate faster. The fasting way keeps you need less food and water and all that. Increasing the toughness is another great idea, because we tend to die rather quickly to bullets and things like that too. So what I think we're going to be doing is going to be taking one of the toughness increases. Now there's the Nomad, which starts with the recycling suit. Not my favorite. I like it normally. I don't like it for this character. So we can either be Water Merchant, which increases the ego, or the Water Vine Farmer, which increases our toughness. What I believe we're going to do on this one is we're going to go the Water Merchant, as a matter of fact, and increase our ego, and then we're going to put our stat points as we level up into toughness for a little bit. Because this is going to turn us into a crazy powerhouse. Sort of. A crazy glass cannon, anyways. We're going to have a name chosen for us, because I really like the names that it chooses for the most part. Very interesting. So, on the 23rd of Nivan Ut, you arrive at the oasis hamlet of Japa, or Japa, along the far rim of Mogra Yi, the great salt desert. All around you, moisture farmers tend to groves of viridian water vine. Their huts wrought from rock salt and brine stock. On the horizon, Cud's jungles strangle chrome steeples and rusted archways to the earth. Further and beyond, the fabled spindle rises above the fray and pierces the cloud-riven sky. Very nice, very nice. Our name is Kimu Rorok. I like Rorok. Kimu Rorok. Let's check our inventory. 9 bear jerkies, pretty nice. A freeze grenade, very good. Torches. Circuit board for no real reason. Now, great. Great. Now you'll notice, probably first off, if you've played a couple of games of COD, is that our weapon damage is awful. 1 penetration is terra bad. Now 1d3, that's what a dagger is. That's not going to change or anything like that. But that 1d3, awful. First thing you're going to want to do is come and talk to this guy in the red right here. We can look at him, and we can see he is Mehmet. Years of desert have taken their toll on his body, but he commands your ear with his voice like few other men. And you wonder what a sovereignty he might have come to were he not born a moisture farmer. He is loved by the villagers of Japa. He is hated by crabs for eating all their fruit. That asshole. He's hated by apes for disproving a famous theorem. And he is admired by antelopes for pouring asphalt on one of their enemies. Okay. So we're going to talk to him by pressing the C key. It's going to ask us to select a direction, and we use the number pad to move around. That's the easiest thing. Live and drink, my friend. May you find shade in Japa. What can you tell me about Japa? You would be wise to speak with Elder Eruded. Look for his hut to the north. I am in search of work. Ah, some critters are eating our water vine. Farouk claims he saw one slinking around a vine patch. Ugly little thing, he says, pale white, 8 legs, and ear-splitting wine. I notice a bit of red dirt in the water vine pool. The same we find in the soil at a rock nearby cave to the north we call Red Rock. Travel to Red Rock and kill as many of these critters as you can. Bring back the corpse of one too. Elder Irudad will reward your efforts. I will do as you ask. Now, it's very important to talk to him first thing because there's a known bug in this version where it's got all the factions and stuff. Well, this guy right here, who happens to be, and we're going to hit L to look, and we're going to look up at Orden Ualreg. Big Ualreg shifts his weight between his hind and forelegs. He shakes dander off the chipped surface of the great curling horns that splay from his temples. One hand holds a purring blade. The other, lame and frostbitten, reminds us that while Mother Nature may bestow splendid gifts upon her children, she is still sister to cruelty. This guy has a chance, when he spawns, to hate this guy. And if that happens, he obliterates him. I think 3 turns pass, and then they go close, and he just unleashes a freezing cloud from his hand that it mentioned, and it completely obliterates him. So if you don't get the quest before that, you cannot get that quest. And that quest is good for some experience. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rob the good citizens of Japa. So there's 3 houses that have chests in him, this being one. We're going to go in it. Press O in the direction of the door to close it. O to open the chest in the direction of the chest. Yes, we want to open it. And we're going to grab a couple things. Now, with this character, we're not super interested in a lot of things. We cannot wear very much, we cannot carry very much. We're going to be looking for armor that has high dodge values. And kinda... excuse me, putting that over the armor value, but we'll see. Ooh, a data disk. See, this would be fantastic for a lot of the other characters I play. Can we learn what it does? No, we have to have tinkering first. I'm not even going to equip the Borderlands Revolver. Normally that's a great get for any character. Whoop, we just teleported. Just randomly. So, we have 2 grenades. A lot of the time you're going to start with 2 grenades. It's a very good thing if you do, because we can go over here, talk to this person, and get a level. This is Argive, an old man with sand and soot in his beard. Innumerable baubles and curios clutter his workshop. shaded from the sun's sear by a sheet of metal pitched on the roof of his hut. One of our guy's bushy eyebrows is perpetually cocked, though whether that's owed to an insatiable curiosity or mutated forehead is unknown. So we're going to talk to him. He mumbles, tensile strength of Rebulon, but lacking in dino elasticity. Retro-threading on the M-band would probably... Oh, I didn't notice you there. That's because I was ignoring you. Not a trace yield of synthetic linseed solvent. Unexpected deviation from the clack constant. Must you disturb me? What are you, some kind of treasure hunter? At the very least, make yourself useful and bring me a knick-knack from one of the caves. I may reward you. Where can I find such a cave? There are caves everywhere, you dolt. This is Cud. Try the rest wells, just east of here. I will return with your knick-knack. And we got a quest to do it, and we completed the quest because we already have a knick-knack. Here's your knick-knack, and we'll give him, doesn't matter which one, because after we do that again, it appears you may be useful after all. I'll go fetch me another trinket, if I must. We get the quest over again. And so we give him the other one, and now we level up to level 2. Good, good. Quite impressive, treasure hunter. Maybe you're fit to poke around my workshop here. I've been wanting another apprentice. So unfortunate what happened to Screff. What with the disembowelment and all. Take a seat there. All right. Now let me explain. I'm on the cusp of a grand discovery. When I'm done assembling the weird wire conduit, you'll be able to speak to anyone from here to Caiaphas. First, though, I'm going to need some copper wire. As much as you can find. At least 200 feet. You should be able to scavenge enough from the rust wells and nearby caves. As you say, I'll go fetch the wire. So, we leveled up. We hit X to bring up our character screen. And then we can see all of our stats. If you look down there, that silly little mouse was in the middle of the screen. We see that at level 2 we have 50 skill points, 1 mutation point. So we're going to arrow over, and we see that all 5 of our mutations are here. D, because it's a detriment, it's bad. And then these 3 of our mental ones, and have a 2 next to them. That's because they've automatically been leveled up to level 2. Because at the moment, level 2 is our cap. We have an ego that increases the level of our possible mutations up to level 5. But right now the cap is only 2. As we level up, the cap levels up. They get leveled up for free. Hooray! So, we're going to increase our 2-headed. And what that does is that goes from 20% less energy to 24% less energy. So yes. And let's look at level 2 of these other ones. Right now it's piercing a little bit... No. It's another charge, 5. And it does 1d4, so it is a bit stronger too. Next turn, next level, it goes up to 1d5 damage, and it penetrates for 5. Sunder Mind does 2d5 damage. Next time it does 2d6. Excuse me. And the Fuge lasts for 22 rounds. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to hold W and press in the direction we want to go. And we would have went to the edge of the screen or until we stopped it, but we blinked. So, we're going to go into this building right here. Look at this thing. It is Tam, Dromad Merchant, a stoic, long-necked man-camel merchant. I'm surprised they didn't add more for him. Welcome, human. What do you desire? What kind of creature are you? I'm a Droman human, a salt strider. We are going to trade with him by pressing either Tab or T. So, his inventory, our inventory. What things are worth, what things are. We find something we want. Oh wow, like like this. That would actually be very good. We can read more about it if we hit tab. It is a elasticine or scene skin suit. A bodysuit made of stretchy black fabric that sticks to the torso. Your first number next to the diamond, when you're looking at armor, is going to be the amount of armor value it gives you. And your second number, with the little circle, is going to be the amount of dodge value it gives you. Simple as that. So we're going to peruse what he has just a tiny little bit. We're not really interested in a lot of things. Yeah, we're probably totally going to buy that. Because we definitely have enough to do it. Because we are fantastic traders. We're going to trade our data disk, because it's useless to us. All these torches. Oh, and you actually select things to trade by hitting the plus to add an item when you have it selected with our little greater than sign, or a minus to remove the item. Another interesting thing to note is that everything we trade in water. $1 is equal to 1 dram of water. And it's important to notice that you need water to survive, because you do drink water, etc., or else you die and all that. So that's pretty interesting. So this entire basic currency in this post-apocalyptic world is based on water, which is pretty cool. We have tons of money, as you can see. like this, that's worth 210 bucks. And we already have 256 worth of dram on us, like flat out water. This number right here does not tally up all of this. They are two separate numbers. So we're going to get that. We might as well get one of those. We'll get up all of his water. We will buy 5 copper nuggets. These are very good for trading because they have a flat value of 10 and they happen to weigh less than 10 drams of water would. So it's important to carry and to try to find these trade goods because we're sort of weighed down now. You know, we're a very weak character. We can't carry around all this water, but we can carry around these trade goods. So one of the things that we're going to be looking at, because we're not going to be picking up every single thing and selling it, as lots of other characters would. So I don't really want this carbide battle axe. I am going to keep my eyes on the lookout for a carbide mace or something like that, but yeah, not the battle axe. I'm going to go ahead and trade up all of these things that I don't need. I'm going to get a couple more bandages. Just 3 or so. And we will hit O. It says you'll have to pony up 36 drams of fresh water to even up the trade. Okay. It's important to know that whenever you're trading, traders round off to the greatest number, no matter what. If I were to get 148.1 drams of things, I have to pony up 149 drams of water. So that's an important thing to keep an eye on. Try to get your best values work. I don't care about ponying up 36 drams. I have plenty. Now, as you can see, I have, bam, lots of water. Too much water, as a matter of fact. We are going to, we're going to hit the E key to bring up our equipment. And you can either select A, or you can hit enter and use up and down to figure to where we want. We want to remove the tunic, and we want to equip this elastine skin suit. Now, right here, there's a little star, because one head is our primary head, and then our backup head. Same thing for our arms. Our right hand is our primary hand, so we're right-handed. What that means, when it deals with your head, is that that's the head that gets the value. We don't get double value if we were to equip two of these. We would just get the value of one of them. Kinda sucks, I think, in my opinion. I don't know. I guess it makes sense. So now, we're going to come up and take a look at Elder Irudad, a hunchbacked ancient wrapped in a black robe. His smile is warm. Protruding from his back is a stalk hidden under a veil. The stalk forks into two hands with eyes in their palms, and immediately you know why men follow Irudad. I don't exactly, but fair enough. He's loved by the villagers of Japa. He's admired by robots for sharing fresh water with them. Okay. Disliked by the Barathamites for giving one of their kind an unfavorable horoscope reading. Nice. And we will talk to him again by hitting C and selecting the direction. Live and drink, wayfarer. Welcome to the oasis of Japa. Here you will find shades and victual, along with other provisions to help you better scour the rust caves for treasure. Above all else, you may drink of our fresh water and quench your thirst. What can you tell me of Japa? Japa is an oasis hamlet nestled between the eastern reaches of the Great Salt Pans and the jungles of Cud. We are a community of water vine farmers. These groves lie among some of the few tracts of tame land tame enough to grow water vine. What can you tell me of Cud? Cud is a strange and terrifying mesa to the northeast. Her tainted rivers breed life in all its motley forms. Her poisoned jungles shelter priceless relics of a forgotten past. But that is just the half of it, for Cud's most precious treasures, and her most hideous children, lie within the innumerable chrome caverns beneath the scarlet loam. To ply those silver hollows, a spry adventurer's dream. The years have wizened me beyond such foolish ambitions, but you, be not deterred so. We can trade. He has nothing to trade. My thanks, Elder. Live and drink. Also, if we talk to Mamet, we can trade with him, and he has a lot of vine wafers for us. Excuse me. So, now that all that stuff's out the way, and that's stuff you're going to want to do with almost every single character, barring whether or not you can get the artifacts for Argive. If we hit the less than sign, we are treated to our world map. Now your world map is the same every single time. We can hit L and we can look, we can see where we are, we see the flashing things, that's what we're looking at. Red Rock is to the north, we're going to be wanting to head there, and the Rust Wells is to the east. Like I said, this map is the same every time. I believe all of the villages and things are the same every time. Everything else in the world is randomized, including how to get there. But Red Rock is always going to be 2 squares up from Japa. You know, the Rust Wells are always going to be 4 squares to the right. You know, the Grit Gate is always going to be right there. Golgotha, always going to be right there. So on and so forth. Now, if we hit escape, we can use the keys and we can travel along this, and that's a very efficient way to do so. Occasionally you get lost, but we'll burn that bridge and talk about that a little bit more when we get to it. Now, we hit the greater than sign, and we come right back into the bottom. Now, whoops, I'm teleporting around. In order to See if your character is going to live. I find it easier to walk a couple of screens north and to fight the enemies you find there. Because, you know, this is a very, very harsh game. And death comes super quickly and all that. And super unexpectedly. So here we are. These little flying things right here, we don't have to worry about. They're giant dragonflies. They can't actually attack us. They are flashing with an up arrow to show that they are flying. That's all it is. Now we're gonna hit O on the number pad, and that's gonna do some auto exploring for us. The auto exploring is a little meh sometimes. You can cancel out by hitting any buttons. Now right here, we see a boar. It's ill-tempered, bristly pig struts about on stubby little legs. It's equipped with a bite. That's how it does damage. It is in perfect health. It is average difficulty, and it is hostile. So, we're mind warriors. You know, we don't want to get in and attack it with our fists or our wimpy little bronze dagger that does terrible damage. We want to use our mind. So, we're going to hit the A key to bring up our abilities. And you can set it to whatever key you want. I just do it from the A key. We see our maneuvers. Every character starts with sprint. Super handy for running away. We can use our temporal fuge, our sunder mind, our ambient light, which is toggled on, and we'll toggle off if we ever use all 5 charges of our laze ability, which is the laser ability of our light manipulation. We're going to sunder mind, so we select it. Oops, I hit the wrong button. We hit C, and then we use the numpad in the directions of the creature we want to kill, and then we hit enter. The boar dies, we gain 25 XP. We sunder the boar's mind. 5 times it penetrated for 33 damage. 33 is a ton of damage. We only have 16 HP, so that puts things into perspective. And if we hit A again, we can see that we're ready to use it again in 18 rounds. Normally this is a 30-round action, but since our ego is so high and all those things, down to 18, and because of our two-headed trait too. If we go over the body, we can see what it had on us, and we could pick it up by hitting G if we wanted to. If we hit I to bring up our inventory, I don't know if I said that one before. We can either hit the letters of the things that are there, or we can scroll up and down. And we are going to eat the boar corpse. We didn't really need to do that, but now we're bloated instead of just sated. Sometimes it's a good idea to eat corpses every so often. So we're going to continue to the north. We can see some of the stats up here. Let's talk a little bit about them. This is our strength, toughness, intelligence. We already saw a little bit about what they do. It's pretty standard for RPGs. QN stands for quickness. 100 is the base. Every action you take takes up a certain amount of quickness points, basically. And once you do, however many it is, it's probably 100. It, uses up all that. And the movement speed is 100. It uses up 100 points to take a step. This is our turn, MA. I think that's our mental armor. That's one of those hard ones to remember. MA I don't deal with a lot, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's how well we resist mental effects and all that. DV is our dodge value. AV is our armor value. XP, of course. Our HP, of course. How much we're carrying, our carrying limit. So we can only carry an additional 40 pounds of gear. The day, not super important. The time of day. High in the sun means that it's, going down and all that, I think, or going up. Whatever. There's another creature. A little red guy. It's a salamander. Ovoidal spots, crimson and coral and citrine, run the course of its torso and head. It's easy and hostile. Let's get a little bit closer. It's also fighting this Equimax. The musculature of the strapping, tranquil beast is so pronounced that it looks as though the muscles themselves might burst through its rich auburn coat. Great tufts of white hair surround its massive hooves, which it rears every so often while it grazes. It's like a horse, big old horse. Very tough, neutral, however. They're very mean, and the wildlife tries to fight it for some reason, and often dies. But we want to go through. We just sundered a salamander's mind. Ripped its brain out through its nose, or what have you. So we want to try to kill things before they kill things. Now, this one right here is a two-headed boar. And that's pretty mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to call up our temporal fuge. We are here. That is our temporal fuge. And we are going to sunder the boar's mind. And presumably our copy also sundered the boar. Excuse me. We are going to laze this thing. It puts out a beam. We select where it goes, which one it selects, and all that. Obviously, we're going to do the salamander, which is also, as you can see, not as strong as our sundering, but there's 5 charges of it before it runs out. So that's pretty much everything. And our copy disappeared. So we're going to keep on heading to the north. Here's these little guys right here. Snapjaw scavengers. Tussocks of fur dress, skin stretched taut over muscle. Upright it stands, but it looks ready to drop onto 4s. Its snout snarls and its ears twitch. It barks, and its hyena tribesmen answer. It's a swarmer, so this creature receives +1 to hit, and penetration rolls beyond the first, any adjacent to you. They're bad in groups. So, we're going to sunder the closest one's mind. For 13 damage, it drops. And we'll shoot a laser at that one. Wounds up hitting for 14 damage. And it dies. We will pick up expensive items. But that's the only thing we're going to pick up for the most part. Normally what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scavenge each and every single thing. Oh, these things that are flying around us are glow crows. They're hostile, but they can't actually damage us. So, there's that. I'd never really bother about killing them. But, well, I guess it's worth 10 experience. You can see that it is now dusk, so it's part of the nighttime. So now our vision has gone to just what our ambient light is providing for us. Sunder mind. Bam! Didn't have anything on him. Except for juicy, juicy experience points. Get out of there, mouse. We're going to hit O on the number pad to start auto-exploring. And that's enough. So we're going to go north. Now, one thing that's very exciting that the Steam version, the Dromad version, has added is it's encountered, it's added more sort of random encounters. Like in games of Fallout or other Bethesda-ish games, occasionally strangers and stuff would come to you with, various weird quests or things. This one adds random people in the middle. Now, whether they're hostile or not to you all depends on your relationship with the various factions. But it generally spawns in a bunch of all of one type. For example, maybe it's spawns in bunches of boars, and they're always led by a unique, or in this game, a purple. And the purple ones have names, and usually are super badass. And if you're lucky, a lot of times you can find some that are super easy. Just kill them, get some great loot, but not always. Sometimes it spawns them, they're way too high a level, and you just die instantly. But anyway, we leveled up. Now we've got 100 skill points, 1 attribute point, and 1 mutation point. We're going to put this attribute point into toughness, which increases our HP by 1, which is not a ton. And we can't actually put our mutation point into anything, because level 2 is still the cap for all of our skills, or our mutations. We have 100 skill points. That's not really enough to do anything good with. From this screen, if we hit 7 on the number pad, takes us to the skills and powers. And we'll just close up everything. These are all the skill trees we have right here. Now, they're not all super useful to us, because a lot of them deal with, axes, or bows and rifles, or cudgels, or dual wielding, things of that nature. And we don't do a lot of that, we're mind warriors, we're psionics cysts. We blast them with our mind bullets. So one of the ones we're going to be looking at is self-discipline, the trees rather, because most of these things in here are fairly nice. Big ones being meditate, which helps us regenerate, fasting way, which we consume less, we get less hungry and less thirsty. Same thing with mind and body, but we got to put a couple more points into willpower for that. Eventually we'll probably pick up shields, tinkering. We will probably pick up one of the weapon skills. Probably probably short blades, but we'll see. But anyway, we're here at Red Rock. We know because we got a little bit of experience for getting here at Red Rock. And here are the stairs down. And this is, I think, where we're going to cut the first video. I hope you enjoyed it, and join me on the next video when we actually explore Red Rock. Hope you have a great day, and peace out.